And then everyone has to like give the okay, which I think is funny. Okay, I just muted everyone. So we're real excited to bring this Zoom to you guys all about finding loyal customers. I was telling Mandy earlier, I was like, I feel like sometimes I don't get super excited about doing Zooms on how to sign customers because I feel like you guys have heard it all. But then I have to remind myself, we have new people coming on our team every single week. There's at least one person that this is the first time they've heard our different like tips and tricks on how we consistently sign customers. Because every one of us, the three of us, like we are always signing customers. We may have what we call our dad seasons when we go like 3 or 4 days and we haven't signed anybody, but we're very consistent. We always sign customers. And now we always sign distributors too, but customers are much more of a, a mass amount. So we always sign more customers than distributors, I think, for the most part. Which is good. It means that your business is growing versus turning into a pyramid scheme. We don't want to do that. So customers are a good thing. And I like that our teams are so heavy on the customers because again, that's the bread and butter of our business. So we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're actually going to have Chelsea start us out because she has like a crap ton of tips. And then Mandy, and then I'm going to hop on, and I actually have a special guest that's going to come on and talk too that I'm not going to tell you until she hops on. But I talked to her and I see her on here, so I know she's here, that she's a brand new person. She's already killing it signing customers. So she's going to give us just a couple things that have helped her sign customers, being brand new, not knowing the business, not really. I mean, she's used a couple products because she has her starter kit, but like she doesn't have any results or anything. And just some of the things that she has done. So, and then I'll end it with a couple tips and it won't be a super long night. So I'm pretty excited about this. So Chelsea, you want to go ahead and take it away?
Yeah, sure. That's fine. Okay. So I put my new Instagram in the chat section. I just want you guys to know that if you've been following me and you see a different name, it's because I just switched it up for myself because I felt like nobody could find me. So I put my name instead, and it's the same as my TikTok name. So it's Chelsea Noella with 2 A's at the end. So if you want to check it out, then
Girl, you said new. I thought you meant like yours got shut down and you had I was like, wait, what?
Oh, no. Okay. It didn't get shut down, but I switched it up and I wanted to make sure that nobody knew that, like, nobody thought that mine got shut down and they had to like re-add me or something. It's the same exact Instagram. I just changed the name just to make it easier for people to find me. So I wanted to come on here and just share 5 really quick tips with you guys. I'm just going to go down the list. I have my list written down. I do very similar things like Mandy and Tanya do. I do host to post religiously every single day. I also do messages though. And so I do things maybe a little bit differently, maybe a little bit similar. But I have some really good tips on how exactly I do that. And so you guys can write them down if you want, and then we'll go into theirs where they're going to explain exactly how they do it. So number 1, confidence is key when you're signing loyal customers. That's not just good for signing distributors, but it's really good when you're signing loyal customers too, because you don't want to sign up for a product with someone that honestly has no confidence whatsoever, doesn't even believe in the product, right? You want to sign with someone who has tried the product, who has confidence in the product. And even if you haven't tried that specific product you're talking to them about, like for me, for example, I don't use TFX. It gives me anxiety, something wicked. And so I don't use that, but I do sell a lot of it. And so whenever I talk about it, and I share testimonies from other people who have used it. So I share exactly what it does. I share the testimonies from other people, and I'm confident that those testimonies had to go through the whole process of being approved. Okay. So whenever I'm talking to people, I make sure that I tell myself that I believe in these products and these products are life-changing. And I say this first and foremost because, I know I've been reading Pam Sauter's book. If you guys haven't read it yet, it's really, really good. It's Rich Girl, Poor Girl. And the chapter that I'm on, she's just talking about the confidence, and she's talking about how if you are consistently saying these products don't work, nobody wants to buy them, these products are too expensive, nobody is going to buy them. You're right, because your confidence and your lack of confidence is going to be transferred, and your belief or non-belief is going to be transferred into your potentials. And they're not going to sign with you if you're consistently battling with yourself in your head, telling yourself that they are too rich, they are too, they're not good, They don't do what they say that they do, and all that good stuff. Okay. So make sure if you also find a product, if you are trying products, right, and you have a product that you try and you don't like, go try a different one. And I think Tanya said this a couple of times on her Zooms that I've watched of her, that, you know, she has several products that she doesn't like, and then she has several products that she loves. And it's okay, no matter what, because we don't always love the same exact things. We all have different tastes. We all have different goals. We all have different lifestyles. And so something like the BFF might fit into somebody else's lifestyle, but it doesn't fit into mine, right? Same with keto coffee fits into my lifestyle, but someone else on my team loves Skinny Brew, you know? So really you got to figure out what's best for you and what you're going to be able to run with and have the confidence with that. Number 2 is being a product of the product. I know when I first started, I honestly could not afford product, and I will be the first one to admit that. Matt and I were literally struggling so bad. If you haven't heard my story, we were like living less than paycheck to paycheck. And so when I got started in this business, I did not start using the products right off the bat. And a lot of people, when they come onto my team, the first thing they'll say is like, I don't have money to buy a ton of products right off, right? The great thing is that right now with our kits, you get product with them, right? And it's doing really well because you get to try them right off the bat. However, you know, if you're waiting for your kit to come in and you haven't tried the products yet, it's okay that you haven't tried them yet. But having that story of I'm going to be trying the products is the most important part. What are you excited to try? Because when you're talking to a potential and they ask you, well, have you tried these yet? I would highly, highly recommend saying, I have not yet. I'm waiting for mine to come in the mail. And I'm so excited to try X, Y, and Z. And this is what it does. Do you want to try them with me? Okay. So simple when you're talking to people to just share your story and be honest. So number 3, I have, not everyone will sign with you right off the bat, and not everybody is meant to be your customer. So understanding that when you're talking to people that they're going to say no. They're going to say no. They're going to say yes. They're going to say maybe. They're going to ignore you. You're going to have so many people who are going to have so many different responses. And no matter what they say, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with what they're ready for at that point in time. And so this is why we're constantly saying that the fortune is in the follow-up, because I know that when I was getting ready to get started, this girl had talked to me like 500 times about the product. And I kept saying, no, 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 no. You guys know I was broke as a joke. I couldn't afford product. But when she threw out the money to me, that's when I was like, okay, I need to start watching her. And she still continued to follow up with me about product and about business at the same time. So just know that if it took you, 10 to 50 times of people following up with you, chances are is that you're going to have to follow up with a lot of people just like that. So it's very, very important to stay consistent with getting on your, potential's Facebook walls, Instagram walls, or Instagram pages, and reacting on their stuff, building that relationship with them along the way, and doing your follow-ups consistently every single week is very, very important. Also, number 4 is consistency in sharing every day you're on your story and on your posts. So I know that not everybody posts product on their page every single day, but almost every single one of us posts on our story every single day. We share our coffee being made. If you don't have coffee on hand, I know I run out sometimes and I have to re-up. I'll go on and I'll share that I've run out, right? And if you're waiting for your coffee to come in or you're waiting for your products to come in, go on your story, share how you're excited because you're getting your coffee or you're getting your slimming gummies, or, share a little template that we have. We have them all over Pinterest, guys. We have them on every single top leaders page. You'll see them come up where they talk about products, where they'll talk about just one specific product at a time. And there'll be like 6 or 7 slides all together where you can share what the product does and how it does, and then have a poll at the end of it, or have a question at the end of it, or something like that can interact with your people. So I do that a lot. I stay consistent sharing my journey along the way. If I am on a journey for weight loss, for example, like I am, I've fallen off the bandwagon. I can't even tell you how many times. Okay. We went through quarantine. I have anxiety that I live with every single day that I'm working through. I share those bits and pieces of me, but I also share the fact that I've fallen off that bandwagon and I'm willing to get back up and try again, because you want your potential loyal customers and your current loyal customers to know that it's okay if they fell off with their products, and it's okay for them to get back on, and you're going to be their inspiration to be able to do that, right? So really important to do that. And the fifth thing that I have for you guys is this business is a numbers game. Okay. So I want every single person here to think of their business like a garden. Okay. And I share this with my team all the time and my new distributors all the time. And this is how you can explain it to your new distributors too when they come in. So think about your business like a garden. When you're adding people on your Facebook and Instagram, you're clicking the add button. It's almost like you're going and getting some seeds, whether you get them from the store or you get them from a friend or you get them off of somebody else's, lawn or whatever, right? You're getting seeds, right? When you ask someone if they want to try products, host a post for you, or become a distributor, you're planting the seed in the ground. That's what you're doing, okay? When you are following up, you're watering that seed. And think about how many times you have to water a seed to get it to grow, right? So you're going to have to water that seed and water that seed and water that seed. When you post on Facebook and add to your story, you're giving it sunshine. That's your sunlight, okay? Your plants need sunlight. So we want to make sure that we're shining it on them every single day. And your harvest will only come when you're doing all four of these things consistently every single day. And you have to do them together. So if you are feeling like lately, you're like, man, I'm just not signing loyal customers and I need this so bad, go take a look at your garden. What are you doing consistently every day? And what are you not doing consistently every single day? Because if you're not signing consistently throughout the month, then you're definitely missing something in your garden. You're missing the sunlight or you're missing the water over and over and over again. For the longest time, I didn't think there was anything wrong with my garden, guys. And then someone in my upline just randomly said, well, are you following up? I'm like, what do you mean following up? And they're like, you got to go and follow up with them. You have to message them and ask them if they want to try it again. Like, you have to create the urgency. You have to ask them those questions like, hey, I've got 3 spots. Do you want it? Hey, I'm adding in a couple of orders. That's like my famous follow-up line. If you guys want to write it down. Hey, I'm adding in a couple of orders for my fill in the product. I'm adding in a couple of orders for my slimming gummies. Do you want me to add one in for you too? So simple. I use this all the time, guys. And that's how simple it is to follow up with people. Creating urgency. Hey, I'm down to 1 last spot. Do you want it? Right. And this is what I've noticed is like one of the biggest things that holds a lot of people back. And I thought that I was alone. I thought I was the only one who struggled with follow-ups, but I was so wrong seeing how many people come in and they do the same exact thing. And so you have to look at your garden, and it's a numbers game, guys. So think about this. If you want to go diamond or you want to get this $3,500 bonus, right? I don't know if I can say that or not, Tanya. I'm so sorry, but
no, because this is just our team. Like, we're not talking.
All right, perfect.
You guys are already in. You should have looked at the income disclosure statement already.
Okay, perfect. So think about your garden like this. Okay, you want to get this bonus, and you want to get these bonuses along the way. If you're only planting 3 seeds in your garden, right? Your mom, your dad, and your brother. What's going to come from that, right? You're going to have 3 plants that grow. Is that going to make you a $3,500 income? Probably not, right? So if you want more, you have to be willing to go out there and get more, whether that looks like messaging straight up, whether that looks like host a post, whether that looks like posting on Facebook and having people come to you. Generally, you're probably going to have to use so many different types of techniques in order to get it. But you have to make sure that you're consistently having seeds be planted and seeds be planted and seeds be planted every single day. And this is where they're talking about residual income, is because when you plant that seed and plant the seed and plant the seed and plant the seed, eventually every single day, say you've planted 10 every single day for the next 4 days, that's actually 40 new plants that are going to come up. Is it going to take time? Yes, it is. Because remember, you have to water a plant over and over and over again. Remember, that plant has to see the sunshine over and over and over and over and over again. So it's extremely, extremely important that you're taking the time to do that every single day. So those are my 5 tips. I did want to go quickly over how exactly I talk to people when I'm talking to a new loyal customer or a potential loyal customer. So people come from post to post, right? Or they'll come from you messaging them. The second that they say that they're interested, I give them the description of the product. So let's just say I send them a message and I say, hey girl, I'm looking for a few people who want to use my slimming gummies for 90 days and give me their feedback. Do you know anybody who would be interested? Right? They say yes to that. I'm immediately going to send them the description. It's always going to be the description right afterwards. And then after the description, when they say yes, I'm immediately going to give them the price right afterwards. So it's always going to be the initial asking, description, price, and then it's going to be following up or signing them or getting a date from them, one or the other. And no matter what, chances are you're going to have to follow up with them anyways. So just remember, it's always going to be those really, really simple steps when you're talking to people. I know our team has a board specifically for product description and prices. You could create this for your team. And let's just say you just got started and you're like, well, I don't have a board, or my upline doesn't have a board. You can create a board. You can start now. You can start fresh. Create one that has every single product on it and what's the simple description that's on it. And that way you never have to worry about what the description is. So if you're like me and you're all over the place and you've got a lot going on every single day, you don't have to worry about, okay, what does this product do while you're in the middle of rocking your child to sleep, or while you're in the middle of the grocery store, or running an errand or whatever. You'll have it right at the palm of your hand. So it doesn't always have to be your upline that does those things for you. It starts with you. You are your main distributor. You are your main employee, your boss, your everything. Okay. So super important to remember that. And I think that's all that I had for my tips, Tanya, if you want to go ahead.
That's good. And I love that you talked about our approval process is no joke. Because I have personally had before and afters be declined that were not doctored, were not edited, but because they looked too good, they won't approve them, because we want to make sure that our business is completely ran with integrity. They don't want anybody trying to slide in there and like, oh, look what I did in 4 days by taking 3 pills, because that's not what the weight loss products are for. And then also you talked about posting a graphic. Just for any new person who's on here, she is not talking about post graphics on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and then by the end of the week, you've never posted anything but a graphic. Yeah. They work for her because she posts a graphic and then her life and then her face, and a graphic and her life and her face. Just posting graphics will not only will not bring you sales, they will make your story views go to 0 because no one wants to look at your stories anymore. I did that. I learned that the hard way when stories first came out. I was like, oh, that's easy. I could just sell in my stories. Yeah, when no one watches, you get no sales. So you can't do that. So just bear that in mind if you're new and you're like, oh, she said I could just post graphics. She did not say you could just post graphics. She said you could add them in. So keep that in mind. Make sure we're not using selective hearing. Because I know someone's going to be like, well, she said, no, she didn't. And if you go look at her page, it's evident that that's not what she said.
Yeah. And the thing is like, it goes right along with when you're talking to potential distributors, guys, share your story, because people are going to buy into you before they buy into these products. So making sure that you are weaning your life into this, making sure if your kid's doing something while you're using your product, have them in the background. My favorite thing to do is have my son make my coffee for me. He's 2 years old. Everybody loves it. So, do those things. People love seeing stuff like that. Share a little video of you talking about the product that you're using or the product that you're excited to use. So yeah, exactly what Tanya was saying for sure.
It's funny you say that because my husband was never a fan of getting on camera. So he works the business on and off. Right now he's in off. But when he would do it, he would always have my daughter do the coffee for him because he didn't want to be on the camera. So he would have her make the coffee because she thought it was fun, and it got him engagement on his stories. I was like, I feel like that's cheating. But hey, if that works. All right, Mandy, you want to let us know how you've been signing your customers?
Hello. Yeah, I mean, I have quite a few similar tips to Chelsea, but TikTok has been great, and I'm kind of very new to that as well. But so the last, I'm just going to quickly tell you how I signed my last few customers and then go into depth a little bit about it. So one was from Host to Post, which we all talked about and we all do every single day anyways. One was from TikTok. Funny story is she actually spoke to me on TikTok about random stuff and was offering to help me with my van. And she commented on a mutual friend's Facebook post. She's like, Mandy, it's the girl from TikTok. And she ended up ordering coffee, which I think is great. And then two of them were from following up, and one of them was from my story, which Chelsea was saying, like, this girl particular that ordered from my story, she ordered from a slide, like a graphic, like Chelsea was saying, that, you know, might have some before and after on it and say, like, swipe up and type coffee. Now, that's great, and you can slide them in. For instance, about not having any coffee, I'm kind of heartbroken, and I'm, like, scattered because I don't have any I don't have any coffee right now, so I'm slightly dying. But I made a graphic myself with my cup of coffee that I copied from another leader. She took it and kind of just said, I think it was like the benefits of it. Do you have to be on keto? Where can you buy it? Something like that. Anyway, it was kind of like a little Q&A, but with a picture on there. She obviously, if you guys are in America, you guys have the chocolate greens, which we don't have in Australia. So I just got creative and was like, well, I want to make the same graphic. I'm not going to steal hers because we don't have chocolate greens here, and I don't want to be telling 75 people we don't have that. So I was like, I'll take my own photo and I'll basically copy the same things as what she was saying, because she was using the keto coffee and not skinny brew, and did that. And I love that you said that about sharing products that you're excited about, because I have a lot of my newbies that in Australia we get, I think you get a keto coffee and TFX. And so what I had some of my new girls do while they were waiting for their products was, if they drink coffee, if you guys drink tea or you drink hot chocolate or whatever it is that you drink, take a cup, like take your mug and take a selfie and say, I am so excited to swap out my coffee, like my regular coffee or my tea, for fat burning coffee. And same thing, like who wants to try this out with me? I have sample packs, or I'm giving like 4 people my discount, and just get excited about it. And same thing about like not using every single product. I don't need to lose weight. So yes, I drink the coffee every day, and I use TFX on and off for the energy, but I'm not going to sit here and lie about it and say like, I've lost all of this weight. I do have before and afters of my face from the coffee, because it literally shrank my face. But you don't have to use every single product, but have confidence. Like Chelsea was saying, that I have a lot of people that I'm like, yeah, man, like I haven't used, like I use the coffee and I don't have huge before and afters, but I share Chelsea's results because I have confidence in the products, and that comes down to using them as well. And going back to like, maybe you're new and you can't afford to, you know, buy a ton of product at the start. What I did, because I was exactly the same, I think like 2 or 3 months in when I first joined, there was a BOGO on hair, skin and nails. So I was like, right, well, I'm going to get that. So I have 2 months. I can share my own results. I can share boomerangs in my stories of me using the product. I can get excited. I can share, you know, like just me whispering my hair around saying who wants to like grow their hair out with me. And what I did was I just ordered one product a month until I got to a point where I could afford to run my ADBV auto shipment. And because you're trying different things and you're getting results and you're being excited, lots of people are going to catch on to that. And yeah, with Host to Post and stuff. But I like how Chelsea said too, because it's so real. Whether it's customers or distributors, you have to share your journey and who you are. I've recently joined Mira Denning in the Stronger Than Silence movement about domestic violence. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me because they can trust me a whole lot more, because I'm not saying that if you've been in this situation, you have to share it by any means. But like if you've got a kid that like just doesn't sleep, if you share that in your story and you're intertwining like that, you need the keto coffee or you need the skinny brew to keep you going through the day, mamas whose kids aren't sleeping are going to relate to you. Or if you find that For me, you guys, when I first started my business, like I was in this situation and my hair was falling out. My hair was falling out all the time and I was really tired. So I can talk about, you know, my hair's like, I'm so stressed out and I've got bald patches, or like, you know, my hair just falls out in clumps. I'm using this, you know, natural vitamin to help me out. Who wants to do this with me? But sharing all of that. I like how you guys said about getting your kids to make your coffee. I mean, I can't do that, but most of the time I have my coffee at the beach. So just sharing that, talking about it like she was saying, and then, you know, sharing slides and before and afters. And then I'm not someone who, like we said, I don't share posts on my page every single day. But maybe I'll do it every couple of days or once a week or something like that. But I love Chelsea's analogy about the garden because it's so important. Like for the longest time, I think all three of us were like, follow-ups, what do we have to do that for? Why don't they just order? And it doesn't work like that. And fortune is in the follow-up. So I love that analogy that you said, Chelsea, because yeah, if you're planting the seed, but you're not watering it, so you're not posting, you're not interacting with them, you're not following up with them, they're going to end up either just never ordering, or they're going to order with someone else. And we don't want that to happen. Like, you need to be posting in your stories and following up with them so that all they think of, oh, I've got the money and I really want to try that coffee, you're the first person that they think of to buy it, rather than Joe Blow down the street or some random thing off the internet that they're going to buy. That's kind of all I had.
I love that. And I love that you talked about using domestic violence as part of your story, because it's there, but also that you don't have to use that as part of your story. If it is part of your story, you don't want to talk about it. I talk to so many people, and the one thing that all of us agree on is don't use your pain and your trauma as a way to recruit people. Now, it's part of your story and you're inspiring them. Yes, talk about it. No one's saying don't talk about it. But when I don't know, I feel like there's a line, and you know when you've crossed it, to where you're sharing and you're helping versus, oh, now this is my brand and I'm going to capitalize on this. And I feel like we see people cross that line. And then we talked about it the other day with one of the leaders that had, I don't think we did. I think me and Savannah did. Someone had crossed the line with something and she got drugged all over the internet for it. Someone in Networks. And now she's like trying to backtrack real quick. And we're like, no, like you did that to yourself. None of us have ever told anyone to do that. So whatever your story is, share your story loud and proud. Like I've talked a lot about, or talked individually to some of you about my past with trauma and addiction and even like sexual abuse. But that's not something I want to be part of my brand. It's not something you'll see me like, it's not one of my pillars. If it is, yes, if you're passionate about talking about it, but just because it's in your life, don't feel like, oh, well, the only way I can get customers is if I capitalize on this pain point that I have, because that's not what we're telling you. You may have a pain point that you're passionate about talking about. That's absolutely fine. God put it on your heart to share for a reason. But if you have a pain point and you're like, that's not really something I want to share, I don't want it out on the internet, or, you know, I'm not ready to put it out, whichever way, that's fine too. I've been doing this for 6 years. I doubt that part of my story will ever become a huge part of my brand, but I do use it for people who, if I'm talking to a new distributor one-on-one and they're having issues with something that relates to that, like, heck yeah, absolutely. If I have something that I can like share, that'll help you. So I love that you talked about like, that's part of your story and you're sharing it, but like, don't feel obligated to share it if that's part of your story. Like, it's not something we're telling you guys that you have to have some pain point to go capitalize on. So Becky, I think, is on here. I'm going to have her unmute. So Becky is a brand new distributor. She literally started less than a month ago. Her month is up on October 23rd, I believe. We just dug through eSuite to figure this out a couple of days ago because we couldn't remember when she started. But so I just want, Becky, if you can just tell a little bit of part of your story as far as how did you hear about the business? Maybe how long it took you to finally join, because I feel like that's definitely a key thing in yours. And then maybe why you finally pulled the trigger to join.
So I finally joined because, oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, I couldn't see you.
Okay.
I said there you are.
Oh, okay. So I finally joined because of Tanya. I have been Facebook friends with her for a long time, but I knew Tanya
since we got Facebook, basically.
Yeah. So through Facebook, and kind of have the same common story as a whole bunch of people, you know, like I just I'm just getting tired of just living paycheck to paycheck. Like I want more. I have a family of my own. I have kids. I want more for them. And so I just needed to just change something. And so Tanya had posted something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was just like, yep, okay, I'm ready. Let's just do this. And pretty common, like a lot of other people, I didn't really have the money to put it down right away to start. So I'm like, please don't give my spot away. Like I want to start. Like I'm going to get the money. Just give me a little bit. And so I just scrounged up the money and I just started.
Now this was this time. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Now Becky, she said a little bit. We knew each other when we were kids.
Yeah.
I come from a real rough home, which most of y'all know that. Her grandparents were actually Sunday school teachers at the church that I went to, and her grandparents are like friggin', I don't know, golden people. I don't even know how else to describe them. I don't know if you have the same view of them, Becky, because like you were family with them. I wasn't. I just lived with them off and on for a little bit. But they were like the best people that I think I've ever met in my life, and to take kids in that were not theirs. So I started to know Becky, and her sister was actually my age. Becky's a little younger. When we were kids, and her and I both made real dumb decisions as kids. So we definitely, I wouldn't say we were friends. We didn't hate each other. We just weren't in the same age group. We weren't in the same friend circle, anything, but we knew of each other. And she knew my family. So that probably was enough to scare her off for a little while, as far as doing the business of like, they all be getting scams and be like screwing people. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Because my family does. Like, my family's just not the best of people. And I knew her, and I was like, I don't really know if I want that kid in my business. And then I think we both had to kind of realize like we're not the same people we were 20 years ago. And I'm glad that she joined, because like she blew me out of the water when it came to my expectancy of her. Because everyone says, oh, I'm gonna be the hardest worker on your team. I'm gonna like work so hard. How many people tell you that? And then day 2, Becky sent me this notebook full of notes. She's like, yeah, I took notes on all your videos. I was like, holy crap. This is like me reincarnate, because this chick is so green, it's not even funny. And we get on the first Zoom, and Savannah's on with us, and Becky's just asking questions. And I just see Savannah is like, her eyes glaze over like a deer in headlights. I was like, she's checked out already. She's doing her own thing. Because she wasn't on to train. She was just observing. But I was like, yeah, me and Becky, like, we're vibing, because this is me 20 years ago. All the questions.
I know. I'm sorry.
But, Becky, do you remember the first time you came to me about the business by chance?
I don't.
So I looked it up when she joined, because we had talked about it a little bit on a training Zoom I was on with her. 2017 or 18, I forget, but she came to me about, March 2017. I cold messaged her about the business, and she said, no, thanks. And then I followed up a little bit. She did host a post for me back in 2017. And she had so many people comment on it, guys. I was like, dude, you have a huge market. Are you sure? And she just didn't even respond at all. And then like a year later, she was in my stories, and she asked me about the coffee, and then ghosted me for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 messages. And some of them were her commenting on my giveaway post. And then when I'd message her about it, she would put a heart on it and like not even respond.
Well, I thought like maybe this isn't her, because I get that a lot on mine. They're like, I think your Facebook got hacked or something like that. So I get that a lot.
And this is why now I tell you guys, not you, Becky, but everybody, I'll send a post for the giveaway post. And then 2 days later, if they haven't responded, I'm like, hey, did you get my message? Just want to let you know it's really me. I haven't been hacked. Because sometimes people do think that you're hacked. I would have thought you were hacked. And then September of 2008, I literally posted, or not 2008, September 09 of 2021. I said, who would be willing to work hard for an extra $5,000 between now and Christmas? Serious applicants only. I only have time to train 6 people. She goes, so like, what is it that you have to do? Like sell weight loss stuff? So I sent her the video. Guys, I didn't care how many times I had talked to her. And I want you to see this also. I did not jump into like, oh, this is what you do. I was like, here, watch the video. We'll see if you are a good fit for this. That's it. I didn't care that I knew her. It could have been my freaking next door neighbor and I would have done the same thing. I stay postured. I don't need anyone on my team. I would love to help as many people as possible, but I'm not begging anyone to make me jump through the hoops. She said she would watch it. I asked her what she thought of it. She said she had a question. I have a question. If you need to send me to a website to look into it, you and your husband looked it up to find all the stuff you guys were looking for. Oh, she had a question about the history of the company. So I literally sent her the video of the history of the company, which is there. And it's so awesome that we get to use it. She said she's going to look it over and talk to her boyfriend, and then could talk more about it. And I told her, you know, I was on my way to church or something. I sent her, so I was like, I don't get on the phone with people because I don't. Now I know that's like a new thing now that people are going back into, and you can. I tell people right up, I don't get on the phone with people until they're on my team. Because I have a video. Like, I don't need to get on the phone. The opportunity video says everything. You need to watch it. That's what you need to do. And I know some teams don't have an opportunity video, but I put a lot of work into that. Like, I don't need to get on the phone and explain it to you because the video does it. And then we'll do voice messages back and forth. And absolutely I'll answer any questions, but like, I'm not going to take 45 minutes and get on the phone with you. So we did voice messages back and forth. And then I told her the price. And that's when she was like, I don't have that. And so I was like, that's fine. Like, you know, take your time, whatever. And then she joined me, I don't know, like a week later or something.
Yeah.
But from start to finish, guys, 4 freaking years. So, and Becky's she's gonna eat her own medicine with this, because she's gonna have someone, she's gonna come to me like, they said they were gonna do this and they haven't ghosted me like all these days. I'm like, you did the same thing. I did the same thing to my enroller. I waited 3 years to join her. So keep that in mind when you're talking to your new people. Your next rock star, you may have talked to them today and they're not going to join you for 4 years. So if you quit between now and that 4 years, they're not going to sign you. They're not going to sign with you. And I've had a lot of people do that they'll join or they'll order something. And like the first time I made contact with them was years before that. Months usually, but every once in a while, years. So Becky, I know you told a little bit of your why, a little bit of your story. How many customers have you signed? 4, 5? Every time I open the chat, Becky's like, your girl's doing it again. I'm like, this.
Oh, your girl's at it again. Okay, let me see. I think 4 of my own. And I am actually about to put in another one after I get off of this Zoom, because your girl's back at it again. But yeah, so I'm just waiting. I already have all of her stuff, all her shipping information, everything too. I'm just waiting for her card number. I think she's probably going to call me because she doesn't feel comfortable sending it on a message, but I mean, that's fine. And so, yeah, I just watched a lot of videos, a lot.
Not even just the ones I sent her. Like, she took it on herself to go to YouTube and watch the videos also.
Yeah. Because I am just a very goal-oriented person. Like, I have to just know things. I have to know all of it. And so I just looked, just YouTube stuff, watched a whole bunch of videos, took a lot of notes, and I just follow what Tanya tells me to do. I just do a ton of host to post. And I live in a super, super small town. Like, I think our population is 5,000 people or so. So
no, it was 5,000 when I was there. It's definitely declined since then.
Yeah, so super small. So I had even told Tanya that like I wanted to start just like outreaching, I guess you would say, to try to get out of the town that I live in. And so I actually asked one of my cousins who lives in Tennessee if she could post something for me, and she got a ton of comments on hers, and I actually ended up signing an LC off of one of hers, and I've even sent her voice messages and stuff too. So you have to just do it. You just can't be shy. And that's just what I do, because I mean, and I've got told no so many times, but you are going to get told no a whole lot more than you're going to get told yes. And then I even had a Zoom with Tanya. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so stressed out. It's been like, what, 3 days and I haven't signed anybody. Like, I am getting so stressed. But she told me just to make my goals something that I can control, like doing host to post or messaging back. I've actually signed a LC off of one of my follow-ups, I believe. And so, yeah, now it really actually has worked. It was hard not to do it, but just making goals that you can control, I think has a lot to do with just like, I guess your confidence level or something, like whatever, however you want to say it. But I feel like that has helped a lot and stuff too. And just don't get overwhelmed. That's what I
And that's easier said than done. And we get
Yeah.
that. Like,
yes.
it is. And for those of y'all that are familiar with my training, the doing action goals versus result goals, that's a Ray Higdon thing. I did not make that up. I adopted it from him. I'm on all of his trainings. I'm in his inner circle. Like, I take that man's word as gold because I know he knows what he's doing. But she said that it was hard for her to do that. It was hard for me to do that because I don't give a crap about the action goals. I just want to sign people. Like, that was my mentality. So when Ray first told me, because we were like in a messenger back and forth when he was telling me this, he was like, Tanya, he's like, you're focused so much on signing people and you're stressing out. You just, or he said, I think he used a choice word in there because I remember like, I can't listen to his voice messages on chat or on speaker anymore because my kid was in there. But it said something about basically I need to chill the F out, I think is what he told me. And I was like, you don't know me like that. I am not high strung. I was like, yes, I am. But same thing, I was like, I don't want to focus on the messages in the host of posts. Like, I just want to focus on the money. I want to focus on bringing people in. I want to focus on customers. And he was like, no, your goals need to have nothing to do with signing people. They need to be everything to do with, I want to go live this many times a week. I think this is when I was first learning how to brand myself that we were talking. So a lot of the action goals were not even towards signing people. They were like going live and doing action calls. What are they called? Call to actions on my videos and stuff. And so when I started teaching that to my team, I literally saw the stress level go down. And Savannah remembers when I started teaching this, because I think it was like an aha moment for all of us. We're so focused on signing and distributors. And even when it came out, get 10 hosts to post a day, immediately I told my team, I was like, no, we're not focusing on that. We're focusing on asking a certain amount of people to host a post because we can't control how many hosts a post go up. And I don't work by the philosophy of do it until it's done, because we very much do focus on balance in time blocking. So if you do it till it's done, you may skip dinner and be working till midnight, and then you're mad at life because your phone is consuming you. And we don't do that. We do not do that at all. I told my team today, I was like, I put in the group chat, I was like, y'all, the hardest part of time management is stopping when I say I'm going to stop. Because I work my business in 2 blocks. I do a morning block and an afternoon block. It's a total of 3 hours. It used to be a total of 2 hours, but now that I'm going for the $5,000 bonus, I put a few more things in there. It's a total of 3 hours. And then I do 1 maintenance hour at night. So I work 4 hours a day. That's it. If I'm really pushing for something, I might throw an extra hour in there or do something if it's like an off day, or maybe I'm making it up because I didn't work another day, because I do that sometimes. But my block 2 was done. My time was done, but I had like 25 messages in my inbox. I told my team, I was like, the OCD in me is like, no, you can't stop until those messages are all returned. And I was like, no, I said, I'm going to stop, because then what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit here and talk to people for another hour and a half, because conversations take a while sometimes. And then I'm going to be mad because my husband's going to be home and my house isn't clean. Dinner's not ready. And I'll be like, oh, this business just consuming everything. And no, I chose to let it consume me, period, point blank. It only consumes you if you let it consume you. And there are days, guys, that I don't sign anybody because I put my phone down when I say I'm going to put it down. And I've heard leaders say, work until you sign a customer. That's how you do. Work until you sign a customer. What I say is set boundaries and tell yourself to stop when you want to stop, or when you say you're going to stop. Now, and I also did this today because I actually was done with my block 2 20 minutes before I was scheduled to be done. So the flip side of that is I don't just waste those 20 minutes. I went and I messaged for those 20 minutes. So yes, set boundaries and let yourself be done when you need to be done, even if maybe all the work isn't done because you had the conversations. But the flip side of that is don't waste that time that you said you're going to work, even if you get done early. There's always things that you can be doing. So it's nice to talk about having boundaries and balance and stopping, but you can't really live by that if you're not working all the times that you say you're going to be working either. Does that make sense? Like you're going to sabotage yourself if you're doing one and not the other. At the same time, if you're always working and you're not stopping until the tasks are done, you're going to burn out, because I've done that as well. So the balance comes from, you have to do both of them. You can't pick and choose one and not the other. And I hadn't planned on talking about that tonight, but it just came out. So what time is it? Okay, perfect. So Becky, thank you so much for talking and giving a few tips. And I think you hit a few things nails on the head, even though you're freaking brand new. Like, it's awesome that you understand some of those things already. And then I want to give a shout out to Mandy. And I know Chelsea and I probably feel the same way about this. If y'all don't know Mandy, she is #1 in Australia. I think, right? You're #1 in Australia. I know you're like top in international, but you're #1 in Australia. Her right now, it's what, mid-morning on a Tuesday for you?
Yeah, with daylight savings, it's changed, but it's like 11 in the morning there. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
But most of her team doesn't get on these Monday night Zooms because it is midday and they're working. So her team usually watches the recording. I know there's probably 1 or 2 of them on here, but I'm saying a lot of them don't get on. Yet she still gets on these for our team every single Monday night. And then in return, I make sure that they're recorded so her team can watch them. But we probably get more benefit out of the live than she does. Yet she's on. She doesn't ever complain. When we first set them up, I didn't even know that this was a thing until we were talking, and she was like, oh yeah, like my girls watch them the next day because it's Tuesday here. I was like, crap, I totally didn't think about that. But if we did it Monday night her time, we'd be doing it at like, I don't know, 2 a.m. our time, some random day. So there would be no one on. It would basically be a Zoom for her team, which she does those as well. But I just wanted to say thank you, Mandy, because we get a lot of good tips from you. And I know that you don't have to get on these at all, and it benefits us way more than it does you. But you are very much one team, one mission. And I think I can speak for Chelsea on this. We definitely appreciate it 100%. Because I know you don't have to be on there. The first time I met Mandy, I remember thinking like, dang, this chick is gorgeous. Like, I hate her. It was at a conference. And I think you and Amanda were running around in bikinis. And I was like, I'm not like either one of you. But I remember the first impression was like, this girl is so sweet. Like, she would give you the dang coat off of her back if you needed it. Now, we didn't because we were in Florida and it was like gorgeous weather. But she was just very sweet and kind. And you could tell it was one team, one mission right from the get-go. And she didn't even have a team yet. I think she had a couple of people under her. And now she's got a giant team and she's #1, and she has not let it get to her head at all. She's still one team, one mission, and she still very much like helps anyone who needs help, regardless if they're on her team or not. So just wanted to acknowledge that because I feel like sometimes stuff like that goes unnoticed. So I wanted to just say a couple of things about signing customers. I think Chelsea and Mandy kind of summed up most of what I was going to say. But the one thing that sticks out to me is I used to always think when people would say, oh, you got to be a product of the product. I thought that meant you had to have results. It took me a while to realize product of the product just means you need to show yourself using the product. Yes, when you get result pictures, that's awesome. But just going and like using something stirs up excitement. I can't tell you how many people from our team and from other people that just randomly follow me as, you know, part of my 13,000 on Instagram that I know like 100 of them that ask me where I get my coffee dealer shirt at. And I'm like, oh, dude, I made it. Like, there's let me send you the website. And it's just because I'm wearing it. Like, there's no result picture. There's not a before and after of like, oh, look how skinny this makes me. No, they just see that like I'm wearing it. And it says coffee dealer, which is like right on our brand because we sell coffee. And they're watching my stories of me making the coffee. And they message me saying, hey, where'd you get your hoodie at? Or they just say shirt usually, but. And that's the same with our coffee, guys. And our hair, skin, and nails. And our energy sticks that I used to call mom crack. And now I call super mom sticks because I got in trouble a few times. So I don't call it that anymore. But you don't have to necessarily have result pictures. You just need to be a product of the product, meaning you just need to show that you're using it. I make my coffee almost every day on my stories. And once you get good, at going live on your stories, and you get a little bit good with, or a little bit better with like angles and camera and stuff, you can make really cool reels with your coffee. I've learned how to do a couple really cute ones. I'm not super great at them yet, but I've seen some distributors. I'm like, dang, like I want to buy that, and I already know what it is. It's sitting in my cabinet. I would still order it from them. Mandy talks about freaking her coffee at the beach. There's a lot of times I look at her stuff. I'm like, man, I want to drink that coffee. Oh wait, I already drink that coffee. She's tricking me. Like, it's not going to make me go to the beach. But I'm like, dude, like that's very attractive. It very much makes you want to have it. And then with host to post. Oh, Mandy, you had said something about consistently working. Oh, the follow-up, and like you got to consistently work for it. It reminded me, I had a girl yesterday at church. We were talking about the hoodies, and she wants to do a t-shirt line. She's like, yeah, I just want to do something where I can put a design on something, and then like the company does all the work for me, and I just get sales and get residual income. I was like, that's not how any of this works. She's like, yeah, like you do with your coffee. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you just make your coffee and like people buy it. I was like, yes, but you realize me making it every day in my stories, like that's work every day, right? Like I'm not just letting a company do it for me. And like I feel like a light bulb kind of went off her head, because I was like, even with the hoodies, I was like, you realize I don't just make the design and like never talk about it, never wear it, never order it. Like there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on the back end. And then my husband was talking to a lady at work today, and she's saying how she wants to like basically create a small business to help other small businesses, you know, get better. I was like, well, has she ever ran a business? He's like, I think so. She's done like 4 or 5 different things. I was like, but she's the HR lady at work because she doesn't have a business. So no one's going to hire her as a business coach. She needs to first do the work. Then people will take her serious and they will let her be a consultant for them. How many times are we like, I don't know why I can't get distributors. I don't know why I can't get distributors, but we aren't sending customers and we aren't showing up on our newsfeed and we aren't showing up on our page. People aren't going to take you serious to help them build a business if by the looks of your Facebook page, you don't have a business. That was honestly my first thought when he said that. I was like, does she have a business? And he's like, well, I was like, I wouldn't hire her as a business coach. She's an HR lady and there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't hire an HR lady to help me run a small business. I'm not going to hire a network marketer who never shows up on their page, never posts about anything, to help me build a network marketing business. And so, okay, with host to post, that kind of ties into host to post, because I feel like that's more geared towards distributors, but for some reason it was on my mind. With host to post is to get leads. That's it. Host to post usually does not seal the deal. You seal the deal in Messenger. You are going to have, and I say that because out of all the customers I've signed in the last 60 days, only one of them was not from host to post. Guys, I do host to post. That's what I do. And I'm really good at host to post, but I'm really good at sealing the deal. And I'm really good at getting them to me. So even if they don't sign on the spot, they sign with me sometime that month, because then they're watching me. So a handful are going to sign the first day you talk to them. I had a customer sign up for the 3 products, pick 3. That's what it's called. Pick 3 today. First time I talked to her, boom, boom, boom. She went and ordered it herself. One of the customers this month, she ordered the coffee because she'd been watching my stories. She was from a host to post 3 months ago. Didn't want the hair, skin, and nails, or didn't want to spend the money or whatever. Obviously she wanted it, or she would have commented on it, but she didn't want it enough to buy it, if that makes sense. I think we all get those. They want the longer hair and like, I don't want it that much. So you get those people that they find out they're really really don't care that much about the product. So then you have to get them watching you, and you have to be talking about, I would say 3, 4, 5 products consistently. Maybe you're not using all of those. Eventually you should be, but talking about them. However, if they already are not interested in one of the products, they're not going to continue watching you just to see other products, more than likely. You may have a tiny handful that do that, but you got to ask yourself, what am I doing that's going to keep them watching me? And I feel like host to post is very hard, because you have to have a brand if you want them to keep following you. It's kind of like y'all know what the loop giveaways are on Instagram, or the follow trains is what they're called, where you drop your handle, everyone that drops their handle follows everybody else. but no one engages with you. They usually unfollow you within about a week because they're only following you to get that instant I want to follow back. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with follow trains because if you do them like that, you never grow. Your Instagram's always up and down, up and down, up and down, and you get zero engagement. I like follow trains if I'm going to a homeschool follow train because I know that I'm adding so much value to the homeschool space that they're following me just to get me to follow them, but then they stay with me because of my content. Host to post has to be the same way. They're only friending you back because you friended them off of an ad. They're not following you, like they're not engaging with you. They literally added you back because you responded. If you want them to follow you, you have to ask yourself, what value am I adding that's going to get them to follow me? Now, so I want to we talk a lot about branding, and I think that confuses people. Don't worry about branding. Ask yourself value. Does your page make people laugh? Like, are they staying on your page because you brighten their day and you're funny? For me, I know they're staying on my page because I'm giving good parenting advice and good homeschooling advice. Are they staying on your page because you have really freaking awesome recipes that you're sharing? Now, if coffee is your brand, that's fine, but you need to be sharing some cool coffee recipes. I had a girl that tried to make coffee her brand, but all she ever did was go live and make coffee and like talk about her day. You can do that, but you can't make the same coffee every single day, or people that don't care about your day aren't coming to see your coffee recipe when it's the same thing over and over. And I know that sounds harsh because like when you have a big following, you can do that. I know there's some top It Works people that they do that and they get a lot of views because all their It Works people are following them. I don't have that. Mandy doesn't have that. Chelsea doesn't have that. I almost called you Christina. I don't know why. You don't even look like Christina. When we're making our coffee, people are either following us because they relate to us some way or because they like the coffee recipe that they're sharing. That's why randomly you'll see me, oh, I'm doing a pumpkin spice one today and a vanilla latte today and a cappuccino today and a frappuccino today. Like I mixed it up because I want people watching my stories for the coffee videos. That's kind of what I do in my stories. The coffee videos are probably the biggest thing when it comes to products. I want them watching it, but I know if I only do vanilla or I only do caramel and it's like weeks and weeks and weeks of only doing the same thing, the ones that are only coming to watch the coffee are like, I can get better coffee recipes on Pinterest at this point. Like they're gonna be cooler than you are. And yeah, so I think that was kind of it on Host to Post. Host to Post is for leads. It's for people to follow you. Yes, you're going to get a few instant sales. Becky even said that. She's brand new, guys. She has no brand. She's not even consistently on the posting on Facebook yet. She's working on it. But she doesn't really have anything that she's like, oh, I'm getting sales because I'm showing that I'm like the top, person in Australia. No, we want to share things with you guys that you can do as a brand new person. Yes, the three of us, we have clout in the company, which is awesome. I'm not going to lie to you. It's nice to be able to say, I've been doing this for X amount of years. I've made this amount of money, but we purposely don't say a lot of that because we know you guys can't replicate it. So we try to teach you guys things that are duplicatable, like branding yourself, adding value, going live and making your coffee. Like you can be in the business 24 hours or 24 years. You can make a cup of coffee and you can make it look pretty. That doesn't take any money, anything. On a side note, I don't know how y'all run out of coffee. Like I stock my cabinets with that stuff. I could not live without coffee. I hear y'all saying that, my anxiety is like going crazy. Actually, I'm kidding. I don't stock it because I typically at the end of the month, I always have one extra bag. I purposely make sure I have one more than I'm going to use. And I get real mad if Brett decides to have more than one cup of coffee in a day. I'm like, I didn't buy enough for that. I need to order if you're going to do that because we both use it. And he was mad at me this time because he does the keto coffee and doesn't like the skinny brew. I don't like keto coffee. I like the skinny brew. Well, we do once a month, we do a coffee bar at our church and we do it completely for free. And we purposely pour the coffee into a canister because I'm very I'm not going and trying to sell to my church people. When you have leadership in a ministry, you do not use that to make money. That's a huge no-no. It's just ethically, it's a huge no-no, even if the church would allow it. But so we pour it into like a little cute little coffee thing, and we have like the spoon, what is it called? A scooper. So we purposely, like, they have no idea it works. They have no idea what it is. Shut up, Savannah. I'm gonna punch you in the face. Rude. But once a month we do that, and we typically use a couple bags of Skinny Brew for the entire class, and then we have an actual bar set up back there. We do. We did Google Documents, and we set up a menu for them to order. They can order a cappuccino, a latte, or an iced latte, and they can pick between like 5 different flavors, and they think it's the coolest thing ever. We're not getting anything out of that. But all that to say, this time I ordered more Skinny Brew because I knew we were doing that a couple of times. And so I didn't order keto coffee because I didn't need it for an auto ship. Like I'd already had my money full, and I'm not just ordering product to order product, guys. I'm in this to make money. I'm not in it to stockpile product. I don't care about that. I love Mark. I think he's awesome, but my priority is my family and my pocketbook, not padding his pocketbook by inventory loading. So I bought what I needed, and that was it. And my husband's like, "You didn't order keto coffee?" I was like, "No, I forgot." He's like, "Well, why?" I was like, "Well, babe, we were doing the coffee bar, so I knew I needed 2 extra bags of Skinny Brew. So I just took the keto coffee off, put the Skinny Brew on because I didn't want to spend more than the one auto ship." And he kind of looks at me. I was like, "Do you want me to order the keto coffee?" He's like, "No, I guess just wait till next month. That's probably smart not to order it just to order it." I was like, "We have Skinny Brew. It's not like you don't have stuff to use." And he kind of looked at me. I was like, "I'm saying." It's like Dunkin' Donuts versus Starbucks. Starbucks is always better. And that's the Skinny Brew. If I run out of Skinny Brew, I might do Dunkin', but probably not. I'll just go to the real Starbucks because I don't like keto coffee. But he's a Dunkin' person. So like we have that argument in our house. All that to say, that was like a huge tangent that went nowhere. But I will say all of our church people are hooked on Skinny Brew now. They ask us when our next coffee bar is going to be. I had a church lady reach out to me to order the coffee because she stalked my Facebook to figure out what brand it was because I wouldn't tell her. And that's okay. If they come to me, I'm not going to be like, "I'm not going to sell it to you." I'm just purposely not going to market it to them because I feel like that's sleazy. Now, if you like it after you try it for free, and like she's drank like 5 cups at this point, and then you want to buy it, absolutely. I'm not saying I won't sell it to you, but like you're not my target audience. So I was kind of laughing because now I think she is doing some marketing for us, and like, "I will just go on her Facebook. She like gives samples away." I'm like, "No, I don't give samples away, but I'll sell you a trial pack." So people want the coffee. Like the coffee is very easy to sell, especially once they try it. And if they don't like Skinny Brew, they're gonna like the keto coffee. Again, same with me and my husband. I didn't like the keto coffee. I drank it. I could make it like and not hate it, but the Skinny Brew like was a game changer. And I know Savannah's the opposite. She's not a Skinny Brew person. She loves the keto coffee. You're one or the other. She's also one of those nasty people that puts the chocolate grains in her coffee. Ugh. And we used to make fun of the people that did that too, and then she became one of them. At conference 2019, because my husband was there. We were in the hotel room, and one of my brand new distributors, she was making coffee, and she asked if anyone had chocolate grains. I was like, "Yeah, I think we have a couple bags." She put it in her coffee, and me and Savannah were like, "Ew, what are you doing?" And now Savannah does it. I don't. I tried it a couple times. No, never gonna happen. It's nasty. But that's why we tell you guys, just because you don't like one product doesn't mean it's bad. It just means you don't like that product. There are things I love that Savannah hates and vice versa. I'm sure there's things that Mandy enjoys. Actually, Mandy does the keto coffee. I don't like the keto coffee.
It's because we don't have Skinny Brew, Tonya, okay?
And if you had it, you may not like it. It's much darker. Yeah, much darker than keto coffee. But I know there's going to be people that don't like things, and that's okay. That's one reason I make sure my page attracts people in, because I don't care if I sold you the hair, skin, and nails. If you don't like it, you're going to know about 5 other products before your 3 months are up and probably have tried a couple of them already. If Mandy sells someone keto coffee, she's not only posting about keto coffee on her page. If they don't like the keto coffee, that's fine. She has other things she can tell them about. And she's not taking it to heart. She's not like, "Oh my gosh, my business sucks. She doesn't like the coffee." Guys, some people don't like the coffee. We're not in a cult. Like, you don't have to like and agree with everything that your upline does or that your upline products that she likes. You're allowed to be a free thinker. You're allowed to not like something that we like. I'm not gonna cry about it. Like, you tell me you don't like Host to Post, you'd rather message. I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, not on my team." Go message. You tell me you don't like messaging, you'd rather Host to Post. Okay, go Host to Post. Like, do what you want to do. Make money the way that you want to make money. at the end of the day, this is a business. Like I said, I'm more loyal to my family than I am to the business model, the company, anything. Like my family is why I'm doing this. So if you use a different method than I do, or like different products than I do, like that's a good thing, not a bad thing. Do you guys have anything you want to add to this, Mandy or Chelsea, before I unclick? What the heck? It's late, guys. Unrecord, whatever it's called. So then I'm not your friend anymore. Oh, they're laughing. Okay, I'm gonna click unrecord. What is it called? Not unrecord.